Hello, Steeler Nation, and welcome to your Steeler Nation Vidcast, part of the Big Play Network, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. I'm your host, G.Stryker. Check out mybookie.ag. Use promo code Steeler Nation. Now, I got to find it here first. Where are my banners? There it is. Promo code Steeler Nation, all one word, all caps, to get your chance at a double deposit. You want to lock this week, Steeler Nation? Our entire secondary is hit. Take Buffalo to cover. That's the way we're going to go this week on it. If you want to make money, you can quadruple your money by taking Stryker's bet and getting the double deposit here at mybookie.ag. Hello, Steeler Nation. I hope you guys are doing well. You know, this show is live. If we are on YouTube, if you are on Facebook, you can talk to me directly. Like my boy Miles Pressgraves that knows how this stuff works. I'm only here for a little bit, but what's going on with our secondary and why is Gunner being so bad? Get into that real soon there, Miles. Always good to have you, my friend. Michael Hall of Fame, we are live! Go Stryker! Woo! That's my boy Mike. Robert, welcome to the show. Stryker Strike Steelers. You got it, Robert. Great to hear from you. Robert, let me know if you're the Robert from Montana, because I saw your stuff over there on the who's that one? Oh, crap. It's Steelers.com when they ask Ed, is it Ed Bouchette the questions or is it the other one? Caboli? Yeah. Ron, how many wins do we get over the next 4 games? I'd be happy to get 1, to tell you the truth. If we get 2, that's incredible. It depends on when TJ comes back, to tell you the truth. Ron, thank you so much for coming to the show. Guys, first thing I wanted to talk about and touch a little bit of base about here too. It is the official start of the Kenny Pickett era. You saw my podcast last week, guys. I was calling for it for being the Jets game. Had to be the first start for Kenny Pickett. Otherwise, we might be 1-7 going to the break. Now, we kind of screwed up a little bit here. We should have started him in the game against the Jets. We would have won. We absolutely would have won the game if we started him. Problem was our secondary got really banged up. Toward the end of the game, we couldn't stop anything. Entire starting secondary was gone. And we'll get to that real quickly here as well. But they put Kenny Pickett in a half too late. Sure, he got us a 10-point lead. Defense should have been able to hold it for us. Could have had a bigger lead in the first half with Kenny at the helm. I would have been a little bit more excited for that, though, to tell you the truth. So let's see what you guys got. Sup, Miles and Michael? Yeah, we all know each other. Great to hear from you guys. Yo! D4. Donald, good to have you on the show, man. Steven, welcome to the show. Buckeye State checking in. Thank you, Ohio. Steelers do a good job of owning that state. It's a good thing they don't play the Buckeyes. Otherwise, Ohio wouldn't have a winning team. Eric Wade, you don't think the Steelers have a chance at all? Well, I'll tell you one thing, Eric. Honestly, Kenny Pickett is an X factor, absolute X factor. Why? Because there's no film on him. We're going into the game against Buffalo. Buffalo doesn't know who he is. The only thing they know for sure is that when we get in 4th and short or goal line and short or 3rd and short, we finally have a quarterback that can get us that first down. That is the crap that I had a problem with in the Ben Roethlisberger era. We had one of the biggest quarterbacks in the league that never snuck. And every time he snuck, he looked terrible doing it. He looked like he's going to break an ankle. He is the worst sneaking quarterback, 6'5", should have gotten first downs easily. He always looked out of place trying to get first downs. Kenny Pickett, he's going to get your first downs with legs. Everybody's covered deep. He's running. He's a smart guy. I'm looking forward to Kenny Pickett moving the football against his defense. The only problem is, Eric, who do we have on defense to be able to stop him? Let's go over the secondary right now. Let's go over our injuries. I want to talk about this quickly. Entire starting secondary, go 5 deep, is on the injury report. Here we go. Witherspoon did not practice with a hamstring. I think he's out for another 3 to 4 weeks because the hamstring injury that he had 2 weeks ago, I said was a 4 to 6 week injury. Not expecting Witherspoon back at all. Edmonds did not practice today. He's got a concussion. That hurts. If he didn't practice today, It's going to be difficult for him to get off a concussion protocol in time. He has to practice tomorrow fully, then be symptom-free Friday, complete practice on Friday to be taken off of concussion protocol. Right now, he is in limbo. Not sure if he's going to make it. Fitzpatrick did not practice with a knee, and if he's not playing, look out. Our best backup safety is still on IR. That's KZ. He's not coming off IR this week. We'll talk about the other one that is, though he is eligible to come off injured reserve with that broken wrist that he got right there in the last preseason game. I'm expecting him back soon, but not this week. Sutton, our Swiss Army knife in the backfield, has a groin and a hammy, but he was limited today. Good to see him at least out on the field. Same thing with Wallace, who is now our starting outside corner since Witherspoon has been hurt. He was limited today with a foot. Hopefully he can project up. Same thing with two of our defensive linemen, Wormley and Hayward, our other keystone player. Both were limited today. Hayward and Wormley, both of the ankles, but Hayward was also listed with an elbow. This is an issue, guys. We all know Josh Allen can throw the ball. And you're telling me to be optimistic on us being able to shut him down with a complete backup secondary? Make your money, bet against us. Absolutely bet against us this week. Unless Kenny Pickett can find a way to get this offense getting 30, 40 points. That's the only chance we have of winning this game. Absolutely the only chance. Because if you got Hayward banged up, no Watt on the field, the entire secondary whooped and banged up, Allen's going to have a career day. Absolutely career day. Ron! Yes, Kenny! I was very happy for the Kenny Pickett here. I was at the game. He came out on the field. Instant energized crowd. Crowd was just like booing on their back. Oh, here we go again. What was our identity on offense? We were talking about that Robert Tamburo last week. 3 and out. 3 and out. That was our identity on offense until Kenny Pickett got on the frickin' field. Now what's our identity? The other team doesn't know what the hell we're doing. That's our identity right now. We got a young quarterback that's hungry for a win, that loves that field, that knows how to move the football up and down that gridiron. Looking forward to what he can do this week, though he has a tough task in Buffalo. And we will be talking. I've got my buddy from the Overdue Bills, Matt. He's going to be joining the show here at the midway of the hour here at 7:30. We're going to ask him some questions directly to Steeler Nation. So hold on to your questions about the matchup for 7:30, and we'll start talking to Matt about that too. Miles, I'm scared for Kenny in this upcoming game, but the Steelers win games we aren't supposed to and lose games we are supposed to. Well, it is and it isn't a thing. Tomlin wins more than he doesn't. And no other coach can really say that. I mean, we're in a situation now at 1-3. It's going to be a tough climb with these next 4 games, next 7 games, being against teams with winning records last year. Alex Kozora did the work. He said, no quarterback since 1950. No quarterback in their first starts had to face 7 teams that had a winning record the previous season. Interesting stats. Thank you very much, Alex Kozora, for that one. Miles, and it's time to fire Matt Canada. What are you talking about, guys? Kenny had no problem moving the ball up and down the field in the Matt Canada offense. Why? Because he makes decisions. He knows where he's going with the football. He's not afraid to throw that ball downfield, whereas Trubisky was. Trubisky was trying not to turn the ball over. 3 and out. That was Trubisky. We were always in 3rd and short. Trubisky couldn't get us the first. That was our identity. Absolutely our identity. Our offensive coordinator got us in 3rd and short consistently. Absolutely consistently. Especially with a new offense, guys. This isn't Ben Roethlisberger out there. Hell, last year with Ben, we were like 3rd and 8 every time. This year, we're in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. What's Trubisky doing? Twiddling his thumbs, throwing out of bounds, running around getting sacked. Come on. Same damn offense. Put in Kenny Pickett. We're moving the ball. Not a Canada problem. Think of it. Kenny can move the ball. Exactly. Thank you, Donald. Appreciate that, Donald. What's up, Robert? We got everybody loving each other here. Thank you. Robert, I'm I'm out west, Rad Rob from 90s Pittsburgh Radio Rob, doing the left coast and but not Montana. Awesome. Because I saw like a Robert from like Timburo, Montana that asked some questions on the Asked and Answered thing at Steeler Nation on Steelers.com. And I thought it might have been you just because of the way you write your name right there. So cool. Thank you for clarifying. Happy to have you on the show. You know that, brother. You absolutely know that. Yes. George OTJ, other fans, mostly Panthers, laughing at me down in North Carolina. You're rocked through 3 interceptions in just one half. I say, well, we'll get the last laugh. Exactly. And I'm fine with it. Guys, I'm happy we started the Kenny Pickett era. The Trubisky era was not going to get off the ground, especially facing tougher opponents coming up here these next couple games. We got to get Watt back before this defense can turn around and actually be a difference maker now. Fitzpatrick's got to get back to full health. Hayward's got to get back to full health. Our top 3 all pros on defense are all hurt. All of them. That's why I'm not optimistic about this game. What I do want to see at this game, improvement on the offensive line, controlling the football on offense, and Kenny Pickett getting into the damn end zone. That's what we have to do to win games. George, Kenny Pickett looks good. A couple rookie mistakes. He's smart and will clean up his play. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Claypool definitely could have helped him out by attacking that football in the air. I don't know what's happened to Claypool these last 2 years. His rookie season, he was attacking footballs in the air. This past 2 years, that play down the field, Kenny Pickett gave him a chance to make a play. He stood there, did not jump to the football, and he watched an interception. That is on Claypool. Absolutely should not have put his rookie quarterback in that position when he had the ability to at least make a play on that football. At least make a play to a point where the defense wasn't going to catch it. He's just like, fell down. He's like, oh, he caught it? Yeah, because he made a play on the ball and you didn't. Claypool, everybody on offense, on high alert. George, DJ, Claypool, Muth, you know better. You cannot be popping that ball up for easy interceptions. Absolutely not. And a guy like Muth with those hands should not be popping that ball out. Absolutely not. That's on Muth. Absolutely on Muth. So, I mean, obviously the bomb at the end of the game, dumb of them to actually try to catch the ball. That actually gave us a chance of getting the football. But somebody called the football. Interesting stat, no balls hit the ground for Kenny Pickett. He completed every single ball that he threw, 3 to the defense, the rest to the offense. Absolutely insane stat for his first play. No quarterback starting their first game has ever done that. Ever. Didn't have a single incompletion. That is amazing. That's an amazing stat. What do you guys think about that, Steeler Nation? Miles, Calvin Austin is allowed to practice now or next Wednesday. I'm excited to see him play. He will open up our offense a lot. Dudes like Tyreek. Cannot wait for Austin. Thank you for bringing that up. That's one of my talking points this week. Austin is off of injured reserve. His first day eligible was Monday. Off of injured reserve. Bam. Why? Because Gunner sucks. Gunner's done. 4 games, 2 balls on the ground. Sorry, Gunner. That's the number one job of Steelers returners. Even when we had crappy returners, our returners didn't put the ball on the ground. That's the thing with Steelers. That's your number one job as a kick returner and as a punt returner. Do not put that ball on the ground. Number 2, try to make a play. But number 1, Gunner has failed on. That's why we're going with Sims this week. Our backup returner, kick returner, punt returner, also backup wide receiver who's been inactive for the last 4 weeks. Gunner will be inactive this week. Steelers are still trying to figure out what they do with Gunner. I was telling you, Steeler Nation, why activate Calvin Austin when you don't have a spot for him? Now there's a spot for him. I'm like, do you trade him in for Sims? That would be an even trade for Sims. Somebody still has to be inactive. Gunner's going to be inactive now. Now we have a 3-week window. Austin can practice as much as he wants. If the Steelers want to play him in a game, they have to roster him, which means somebody's coming off the roster. I thought it was going to be Sims. Now, it's going to be Gunner. Gunner's going to be coming off of this roster. And I'm surprised about it. Really, I am. I thought he was going to be better. I like the way he caught the football with Kenny Pickett in the preseason. I like the patterns that he was running and getting open, finding ways to get open in zone defenses. Smart. He's a smart receiver in that respect. He has not been able to build himself up and get on the field in those situations because we haven't had more than 3 and outs with frickin' Trubisky, that we haven't been able to start rotating player personnel in and out. Just try to get some mismatches because we can't even get first downs. Can't even get first downs! Kenny can. That's what I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to the Austin era starting here soon. Edmonds is soft. Preaching to the choir. Nobody does less with more than Edmonds. That is my take on Edmonds. I say this to the Steeler Nation writers. They hate me. Said it to Alex Kozora. He'd have hated me on it. I'm like, nobody does less with more than Edmonds. The only problem is we didn't have KZ to back him up to be able to take his spot because KZ is still on IR. We don't have Carl Joseph to come in and take his spot because Carl Joseph is lost for the year because he was on IR in the preseason. That is where we're at right now, guys. So now we have frickin' who's got Norwood? Norwood's coming in at safety. He's not a banger. We're going to look bad. We're going to look bad this game, guys. You guys are going to be upset at defense. As much as we've been upset at watching the defense the first 4 games this year, defense lost us the game last week against the Jets. 10-point lead in the 4th. Come on! But with their whole secondary hurt, you can't stop the pass, especially down the middle. We got roasted down the center of the field because we didn't have any safeties that could play. Sucked. Frustrating as hell. And when you got a better quarterback, Josh Allen, who's an elite quarterback in this league, he's one of the tops. This is a guy that doesn't like to lose. Unless we're finding a way to get sack fumbles or interceptions, we're going to get sliced and diced by Josh Allen, a top 3 quarterback in this league, on the rise, and nobody wants to win more than that guy. That's why I'm down on the Steelers for this game. Kenny has to do it all by himself. We might have to score 50 to win this game. I can see Buffalo rolling 40 in this game. That's going to be tough. Absolutely tough. Michael Hall, Pickett is the man, and hopeful plan with small hands if something goes wrong. Like, oh man, time for a backup plan. Okay, done with my nursery rhymes. Love it. But he wears the gloves. I'm fine with the smaller hands. I got big hands. I'm fine with the smaller hands, Pickett, if you put a glove on it. If you throw it, then you got to put a glove on it. If you throw it, then you got to put a glove on it. I got tiny hands. I don't want to fumble it. If you throw it, then you got to throw a glove on it. Kenny Pickett, come on. Put a glove on it. That's it, George. Andy, welcome back to the show, man. I love that Kenny Pickett is in the 2 balls that he threw. That wasn't his fault. They were tipped from Claypool. Actually, I will argue that Claypool didn't even make a damn play on that ball. And the fault, the tip from Claypool, Pat, catchable footballs, but the Hail Mary, you have to give it 50-50, getting the touchdown or interception. He's not afraid and has convinced where Mitch was scared for his life. But that's what happens when you play the Bears at that time. So you also have to realize, too, the time before when Mitch was on the 40 trying to get the ball to the end zone on the Hail Mary, ball landed on like the 15. No chance of hitting the end zone. Dude does not have an arm. Kenny, zip, boom, back of the end zone. No problem throwing that ball 60 yards in the air. We've got a shot at Hail Marys with Kenny. Absolutely have a shot. Good point, Andy. Miles, this game, NFL young boy Pickens is going to have an insane breakout game. I'm hoping for that. Steven, time for the offense to carry the team. Fingers crossed. Robert, George OTJ, don't let those North Carolina peeps laugh at your Steelers because I have friends who are lifelong Steeler fans that moved in North Carolina, become Panthers fans, and now they're Steelers trade. Oh, they became Panthers fans? That's wrong. Cowher moved to North Carolina, and he sure as hell is not a Panthers fan. Chloe, welcome to the show. Let's go Steelers. Awesome. Always love having the ladies of Steeler Nation on the show. Let us know your perspectives if you have any questions. I believe. Thank you, George. I want to believe, too. I'm looking forward to the game. I really am. Miles, do you think it's possible Matt Campbell personally sabotaged Mitch with the play calls to get Kenny in? No. They're the same play calls. Mitch checked it down. Mitch was indecisive. Mitch didn't want to turn the ball over and give his receivers a chance. Mitch threw the ball out of bounds or at a spot where the receivers caught the ball and carried them out of bounds. Never gave his receivers a chance to make a play after the catch. That is Mitch Trubisky. We've already seen Kenny can get a guy in space and watch them make plays. Happened last week. Looking forward to watching it happen again this week. George, I don't think the coaches give Mitch less free reins. True, yeah. Be thankful that the Bengals win. Yeah, now they're starting to play. I think they've got the Ravens this week, right, Brian? So that'll be a fun matchup to watch. Robert, Tomlin does not win more than he doesn't with the playoffs, which is only time winning matters because he's not had Cowher's coaches and players. Well, of course not. He's a different coach. Actually, he did have Cowher's coaches for a bit there. Oh, now you're saying he's doing it on it. I hear what you're saying. It's all good. He's still winning without Cowher's coaches and players, buddy. He still carried a winning record without Ben Roethlisberger on the roster in 2019. Guy does not suck. He far from sucks. I know we all love Cowher too. I love Cowher too. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely love Cowher too. But Cowher had his demons as well. And guys, just so you know, coming up pretty soon, we're gonna have our buddy Matt from the Overdue Bills joining the show. We're gonna talk some Bills coming up here at the bottom of the half hour. And I cannot wait to talk with them as well. Still got some of your stuff to go through. Eric, welcome to the show, Eric. The problem with the defense was fatigue. Like you said, nothing but 3 and outs. Defense had to play 45 out of 60-minute game. But they did have 10 days off, Eric. Those guys should have been well rested for another 45-minute game. They won that 45-minute game, 15 minutes on offense against Cincinnati. We had a shot in both these past weeks. Defense boned them. Both of them. Rose, welcome to the show. Do we have a chance for a Super Bowl win? A little one, Rose. As a Steeler fan, we are always optimistic, but I am also fine if this is a rebuilding year. We get some lower draft picks. If we're drafting the top 10, I'm not upset. Absolutely not upset. Because we've got some great skill possession players, and we're high enough to be able to get that franchise left tackle and then move on from there. You can get a center in the next round, starting center. It looks like Kendrick Green's never going to get on the field anymore, so we've got to start building. Ray, now this guy knows what he speaks of and watches the game. Hell yes. Hell yes, Ray. And I was at the stadium. I didn't get my chance to rewatch it. I will. I always try to rewatch it as well before the casts, but this week, I did not have been so busy with work. Love football. Love our Steelers. Donald, exactly. Kenny Pickett needs to control the clock and limit the Bills having the ball. That is the only path to a victory this week. That and no turnovers. We have to be plus in the turnover ratio. Maybe some big returns with Sims. Brian, I'm glad Sims would get a chance to put something on film. He's ultra talented. Well, he's put out some stuff on film there with the Washington team, whatever the hell they were called from whatever year they played. But he can play in this league. He's shown it. He's going to get his chance to get back out on the field and make some plays this week. Miles, I'm so surprised about Gunner. Really is a letdown. He did so well in the preseason. He did. But given his old team, the football, that pissed me off. That's the reason why we lost the Patriots game. Absolutely the reason. So when you got your special teams losing games for you, you got to make changes when they're the ones making the problem. Put 2 balls on the ground. He's done. Brian, Gunner trade to Tampa. The dude they signed retired. Sure. I'm fine getting something for Gunner. Rather get something than nothing. George, I was thinking shuffle pass and Muth pass as mistakes. Barely too high. Muth for the catch. Yeah, definitely. It was a little too high. Brian, Mason to New England. I'm fine with trading Mason anytime, guys. If we can get some good draft picks out of him. But Steelers are thinking a third. They want to get a higher draft pick for Mason than what gave up for him. They can get a second or third, he is gone. Fourth, fifth, sixth, nope. They're looking for a day 2 pick. Second or third, he's gone. Day 3, we'll hang on to him all season. All season. Michael Hall, I feel like all the players are bringing in from free agents from different teams so they can screw us or don't do a damn thing. Gunner and that linebacker who went to KC, forgot his name, but you get my point, Stryker. Yeah, but we brought in some good players too. I'm happy as hell to have Miles Jack on this team. Cole and Jenkins are starting to play a little bit better on this line. That right side of the line looked definitely good for this past game. We are improving. So looking forward to us continuing that against Buffalo and their good front seven. Donald McAllister, Mo Stellar, sorry. We need perfection. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Robert, the problem with D is fatigue. Then the problem goes beyond just the offense going 3 and out, but also has to do what should be better condition if they're the highest paid defense in NSL history. Yes, they need to be well conditioned with 10 days off. Should have been very well conditioned. I agree with that completely, Robert. Steven, welcome back to the show. We pulled it off against them last year. Kenny got to win this game. Fingers crossed. I know Matt will have something else to say about that, but we'll get his opinion here quickly. Thanks, Ray. There we go. Yep. Robert, if the Steelers defense is the highest paid defense ever in the history of football and regularly out of condition, handle the conditions of when we head, then the head coach is not conditioning them adequately. He's got to force them onto that stair stepper. What the hell they run on? Ellipses. Run around it. Make them do laps. They didn't make them do laps. Every time they make a mistake, do a lap. Run around the stadium every time you screw up. Take a lap. Right. Thanks, Donald. Ray, put a glove on it. Yeah. I will never stop with some Beyonce. That is one of my jams. I love me some Beyonce. Steven, Claypool has been very disappointing. He needs to pick it up. Definitely. D has had some good depth too, but getting depleted. Yep. So here we go, Robert. So the head coach is not giving Kenny Pickett a single rap with the starters all last week, even with, though there's a possibility the head coach would put him in, means the head coach is incompetent. I was calling for him to be the starter that last week, Robert. That was my only problem with this week, was that we didn't start Kenny Pickett. We waited till halftime. He had to come in down, but he got us 10 points up. Defense should have been able to salt that win for us. Absolutely. That's not on the coach as much, but I agree with you that he should have been the starter. Absolutely should have been the starter. So now Mike Coleman has established himself both incompetent and inadequate, yet I'm the only one talking about it, even if I don't like the guy and want him promoted. Yeah, it happens. What's up, Stryker? What's up, Michael Scott Joyner? Welcome to the show. Guys, now it is time for me to talk about our sponsor. And since we have a new quarterback, we got to make sure we control that football and take care of those balls, because manscaped.com wants to make sure that you are in control of your own balls. I love this crap. Get the platinum package, ladies and gentlemen. The lawnmower trimmer, the weed whacker ear and nose trimmer, ball deodorant, body wash 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of your ball and member necessities here in one location. Get it all! Manscaped, for turning your playa into an MVP. And we all know what the P stands for. Yeah, you know me. Yeah, you know me. Manscaped.com, promo code SteelerNation. Damn it, I didn't bring down my freaking charging cord and I'm about ready to dump. So I'm going to run upstairs and grab my charging cord, guys. Go check out manscaped.com. Promo code SteelerNation, all one word. Get 20% off your order. Free shipping. I will be back in 20 seconds with a charge cord so I don't go dead for having my boy Matt join in the show. Be right back. I'm coming. You don't worry about me. I'm a coming. Plug it in. Plug it in. You get it all. The good, the bad and the ugly on the Steeler Nation vidcast, because I don't always get as prepared because I'm always doing work for my company. Right before I start a show, I usually only have like 40 minutes to prep. But now I'm ready, and I am ready for my boy Matt to join the show. Matt from the Overdue Bills Podcast, friend of mine. I've been happy to grace their show multiple times. I think 3 years in a row now, Matt. Matt, welcome to the show, Matt. How you been?
Hey, what's going on, man? Glad to be back on. I'm happy to get on with Steeler Nation. Talk a little football. I'm happy we get to do this every year. It's becoming a trend that we look forward to every year. Second the schedule came out, we had to. Oh, we know we got 1 week locked in with G.Stryker,
right?
For sure. So that's always something to look forward to. But man, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I can't complain, but as a Steeler fan, I'm not doing as well as your Bills, man. And I love the makeup of your team this year. It is my pick for the Super Bowl winner this season. I'll tell you what I loved even about, 2 weeks ago, you guys lost your first game of the year.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I love the most about that loss, Matt. Your offensive coordinator going absolutely ballistic.
Absolutely, man.
In the freaking, there's a moth flying around right now, guys. So if something's attacking the camera, it's the moth. But he went absolutely ballistic. I love that he was like destroying everything, and somebody was smart enough to like put their hand over and like be like, don't look at that. Because that is how every single fan feels at that moment. I mean, you guys were in a position to win the game. Obviously, it was a hard-fought game. I completely understand, especially running out of time. Really absolutely sucked in that situation. But as a fan, you got to love that your coaches care about winning as much as you do.
Absolutely, man. And that's what I took out of that same scenario. I was more fired up for that, than anything else. Seeing how that game transpired, and then you look at the box score, and it's just like, how did we lose this game when Josh Allen throws the ball 63 times? That doesn't make sense. If you told me that would happen, 9 times out of 10, I would tell you you're a fool. But that was definitely a great point going into the next week. I think it gave the guys some more energy too.
Yeah, and I've been telling Steeler Nation too, if you ever have to put a lock and make some money on a game, bet against the Steelers this week, you guys are meeting us at the right time.
Yeah.
Brand new quarterback, rookie quarterback, and you're going against our entire secondary is banged up, 5 deep. We're missing, I think, Edmonds, who's our starting strong safety, didn't practice with a concussion. We had Fitzpatrick, who's all-world, didn't practice with a knee. Witherspoon's already been out for 2 weeks with a hamstring. He's not coming back anytime soon. His backup, Levi Wallace, was limited today with a foot. And then Sutton, who's our Swiss Army knife, comes in and plays the outside normally. Shut comes down inside the slot sometimes. He's out with a groin and a hammy. But he was limited today. Might be able to work his way back. But also seeing Hayward on the practice as limited today with an ankle and an elbow. You guys are seeing us without Watt. You guys might see us without Fitzpatrick. And Hayward might be banged up. This is the best situation that a Bills, an incredible Bills passing offense should be licking their chops going up against the Steelers this weekend.
Yeah, so I mean, on the flip side of that, though, this is a time that it seems like our injury report is who's not on it. It's our wide receiver room. You mentioned the corners and the secondary banged up. Our wide receiver room really hasn't been whole since week 1. We have Gabe Davis. We talked about it. Should the Bills kind of shut him down a couple games, because he doesn't look like himself out there. He's coming off that incredible playoff run, that 4 touchdowns in that Chiefs game, and having a good start to the season. Got hurt, and he just hasn't really looked like himself. Jamison Crowder broke his ankle last week. We have Isaiah McKenzie went out in the first half in the concussion protocol. Stephon Diggs, the Miami game, everybody was going out cramping. Stephon Diggs has been our leader and our shining light in that receiver room. But it's really just him for now that you can really write and pen in that lineup. We have Khalil Shakir, who's the rookie we drafted in the 5th round, who a lot of GMs were saying that it was one of the steals of the draft, getting him in that spot. He showed some flashes of what he can do for this offense if he gets on the field. So he'll get an opportunity this week, along with possibly Isaiah Hodgins. So we'll see some new faces out there this week against a possibly banged up secondary for sure.
Yeah, I hear you there. Some Steeler fans are more optimistic than I are. Hey, Stryker, remember this post? Book it. Steelers 27, Bills 24. Pickett will ball out.
Hey.
Hey, that's optimistic. Optimistic. Michael wants to know what happened to Gunner. He was looking promising. You know Gunner because you used to face him in New England. Gunner's put the ball on the ground twice in 4 games. He has been benched. Sims is now our returner. He's our backup. He's been inactive all season. We've been carrying 6 wide receivers on the roster with Sims being inactive. Sims will now be active. Gunner will be inactive this week. So that'll be an interesting move. Not sure if you knew that. Janet's happy to see Kenny Pickett coming up. Matt's saying too. Different Matt, not you. Pickett to Pickens is going to be the next Ben to AB of the past. 1 game alone and only a half. And Pickens had 6 catches for 106 yards. And that was a big point too that we were talking about, Matt. At least it's something I wanted to mention on the show. Mm-hmm. Steelers had not had a 100-yard receiver until we put Kenny Pickens in the game. He finally started getting the ball down the field, got some deep pad. George made 1 catch and run too, where he's showing he can make some plays down the center of the field. That's the stuff I was looking forward to starting about this offense because we do have skill position players. I like Claypool. I like George Pickens. I love DJ. I love Freiermuth. And I love Najee Harris. I mean, we've got skill position players all over the front for this team. And we still have we have Claypool backing up. We have Boykin backing up. We have Sims now that's going to be coming in as well. So these are at least – it's going to be interesting to see if Kenny Pickett can deliver the ball to these players to start getting some – moving the football down the field against your defense. But you've got a strong front 7. I mean, we see Oliver now playing a much better this season.
Yeah.
Talk about your team in the front 7, who the Steelers have to look out for, and especially Kenny Pickett in general. Who's he going to be running from this week?
Well, so Ed Oliver, actually, he was out the last couple weeks. So he was limited in practice today. He's up in the air whether he'll be back. But Leslie Frazier does so well at rotating guys in that the guys that we have in place of him, they kind of aren't missing a beat. We have, Brandon Bryant played very well last week. He actually on that last drive where we stopped Dobbins on the goal line, he was the space eater to allow Matt Milano and the brother of your Edmonds, Tremaine Edmonds,
right, the better brother, the one with talent, yes,
to come up and make the tackles, right? So
right.
But the key guy you want to look out for this week, who's been playing very well playing on the other side of Von Miller, is Gregory Rousseau. In his 2nd year, he's already got 3.5 sacks. Von's drawing a lot of attention, and he's young, very athletic, 6'8" guy. They call him Groot.
That's great.
He gets back there. He's a very good run defender. So Najee's going to have some trouble too. So that's a guy you definitely want to look out for in that front 7 for sure.
Yeah, and our offensive line has been improving. We looked like dog shit the first 2 weeks of the season, steadily improving, at least in the weeks 3 and 4. Those tackles for losses, 0 1-yard gains on offense started turning into 3, 4, 5, 6-yard gains. So we're starting to see it, but this is going to be a real test for us against a legitimate front 7. I forgot you had Von Miller, and that guy is a difference maker too. So congratulations there on that respect for landing him.
Absolutely.
And congratulations, Michael Hall, for getting your Kenny Pickett jersey right there for your birthday. At least you get to wear it for his first start. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. And you're right too, Michael Hall. Claypool needs to tap into his rookie season, or Notre Dame Claypool. Absolutely. Jennifer, think we can pull off a win against Buffalo? We have to play perfect, Jennifer. Absolutely perfect to win a game this weekend. And Buffalo has to make mistakes. We have to have their offensive coordinator throwing the tablet and busting it in the press box for us to get a chance to win this game. I'm not optimistic, but I am excited to see the start of the Kenny Pickett era, what he can do against a legitimate defense, and how we can move the football against this defense. Because they're going to have an easier time throwing against our defense that is completely banged up without Watt, might be without Fitzpatrick, might be without the rest of the secondary. Who knows who's going to play? Who's going to limp out there to try to defend passes down the field against one of the top elite throwers in the NFL? It's going to be interesting to watch. And Janelle, excited about Kenny Pickett getting to start on Sunday. About damn time. Let's talk about just a second here about your running game. How has it improved this season? What do you like about it? I know it's a lot of it is also based on Josh Allen's ability to move the football with his legs as well. So is there a little bit more balance this year, whereas last year it was a little bit more of the Josh Allen show?
So, it actually, for the start of the season, it still really is the Josh Allen show. I think I saw a stat yesterday that Josh Allen is literally 100. He accounts for 100% of our scoring, whether that's through the air or through the ground.
Wow.
So he's
getting the rushing touchdowns.
Yes, he's getting all the rushing touchdowns, and he's throwing for the rest of them. So to go on that, we're not running the ball as much, and Josh is still getting those 8 to 10 carries in a game and being the leading rusher, being the leading carrier. So it's not that much more balanced than it has been in in the years where we couldn't throw the football, for sure. Yeah. So to that aspect of it, no, it really hasn't. But Josh is such a good player, such a good escape artist. Able to throw the ball around and make play after play after play, that it kind of has a, if it isn't broke, don't fix it mentality here in Buffalo to start the season, at least what we've been seeing so far.
And Steeler fans too. I mean, we're starting to see this Kenny Pickett era to also be 2 touchdowns on the ground already for Kenny Pickett. Hasn't thrown one yet.
Yeah.
I think they robbed us of one in the back of the end zone, which I do think Deontay Johnson should have been credited with that touchdown, because if they ruled it the other way, there was no way they were pulling that one off the board. But still doing a good job of getting that ball in the end zone with his legs as well. But as a Steeler fan and Steeler fans in general, guys, Steeler Nation, watching Josh Allen reminds me a ton of a young Ben Roethlisberger, but actually a young Ben Roethlisberger that was a better runner. I think he's accurate as hell. He has that strong arm, can get those sideline passes with zip so they're not going to be turned over, and can throw that ball down the field on a line 60 yards with no problem. That's why I love watching Josh Allen, honestly, Matt. And he's like one of my favorite players to watch. That game against Kansas City last year, which we haven't had a chance to talk yet on the air about that. That is the single greatest game I've ever seen, and I'm a Steeler fan. That Kansas City Buffalo game, back and forth every possession. It was absolutely an amazing game. And if not for the worst overtime rules in professional sports, I mean, that game would have continued to go on. I mean, it would have been like the Syracuse UConn game, the 6 overtime. We're up for hours watching the thing, for sure. Right. Michael Hall, we shouldn't have won against Buffalo last year, but it is what it is. Don't hate me. Of course I don't hate you. Yeah. Any given Sunday, something can happen. And so now your backup is not Mitchell Trubisky. No. Who is your backup now?
Our backup, we have Case Keenum, and then Matt Barkley's still in the building. He's on the practice squad.
We know those two guys. Yeah, they've been in the league for a bit.
Yeah, they're still in the building, but Case Keenum is the immediate backup right now. So we lost Mitch, but picked up Case. So, I'm sure Bills fans and Steelers fans aren't really feeling that we lost out on much on that scenario at all.
Right. And Matt, since we know Josh Allen is a big part of the running game as well, are you concerned as a Bills fan, the same way that Baltimore fans are concerned with Lamar Jackson as their primary runner, that are you worried about him getting hurt trying to run the football in certain situations, or is he doing a good job of getting out of bounds and not taking hits?
We're in like a bad scenario with that, because obviously you love to see him run the ball, you love to see him make these plays, but Josh isn't the kind of guy. Him and Lamar are two totally different body types too. Like Josh is 6'6", 260. He wants to run the ball like a fullback. He doesn't take those he's starting to more and more take the slides and things like that. But man,
Right.
if you're on the sidelines, he's not taking the easy out. That's for sure. He should. I mean, I think he's been on angry runs the most as a quarterback. I think he got it like 3 times in his career. So that's kind of a little bit of a testament to show how he doesn't want to go down. He throws that stiff arm out, does whatever he can, lays his body on the line to get those yards. So we definitely are. I at least myself, I get a little nervous when he takes some crazy hits, or you see him take like hits to the knee, and you're like, all right, he's up, running around. We're good. That's for sure.
Awesome. Hey, Matt, thank you very much for joining us on the show, giving us some insight and some excellent fan insight. You know, I'm a big friend of the Overdue Bills. Can't wait to be on your show as well. Yeah. Shoot me a text. Let me know when we can get over there, and I'll let Steeler Nation know when I get to join your show, because we always have a good time chatting around and just poking fun at each other. But we definitely are 2 sister franchises that aren't far apart from each other, that respect the hell out of each other, and always good to have you on the show, Matt.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on, and hopefully we get a good game out of Sunday, just like the opener for us last year. It ended up being a good game, even though we lost. It was a great game till the end.
Hey, you guys made it farther in the playoffs than we did, so that's what you got to hang your hat on. So tell Steeler Nation, your social media, how they can check out your show as well, especially with me being on it this week.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're Overdue Bills Podcast. On Twitter, we're the Overdue Bills PO1. You can find us on there. We are part of also the Buffalo fan base family now, so you can we stream on that platform on Twitter as well, so you can check that out. They do a lot of good things with the 26 shirts, where they all their shirt sales, it goes to very deserving charities and people. They do a really good job with that, so we're glad to be a part of them. You can find us there a couple days a week.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. I appreciate that, and I will hopefully be talking to you soon and jumping on your show even sooner. And Absolutely. Your brother from another from a sister city here not far away, good luck this week. As I always like to say, we all want our teams to win. May the game be over quickly, and may they be 0 injuries. So enjoy
Absolutely.
The game, my friend.
Thank you, man. See you later.
No worries. Talk to you soon, bro. Bye-bye. Bye. And Steeler Nation, I know you guys are still talking. Thank you. Keep coming in because I'm trying to get back here to you. Trying to see where I left off here, where I want to jump in. Robert, if the Steelers got a couple extra high first-round draft picks and get a better in-game head coach, we're winning Super Bowls again with Kenny equals Lombardi's. Here's an interesting thing, too, here, Robert. I've started kind of like looking at who's winning Super Bowls, when they're winning Super Bowls, other than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning at the end of his career. The quarterbacks that are winning Super Bowls are the quarterbacks in their rookie contracts. Happens with Mahomes. Stafford, of course, won one off of a free agent contract, of course, last year. But these young quarterbacks are the ones that are starting to come up because they don't have to pay that. They can afford to pay the rest of their team since the quarterback is on their rookie salary. We're going to have that window for the next 5 years. With Kenny Pickett. He's a first-round draft pick. We get a 5th-year option on him as well. Probably going to have to spend around 25 to 30 mil for his first round for his option by the time he's around to go, but still will be cheap because quarterbacks by 5 years from now are going to be making 60 mil a year. That's how it's going to go, guys. Absolutely how it's going to go. But good point. Got to get some higher draft picks to get us some better offensive linemen. And we start getting a stud left tackle, 2nd round, get a stud center. It's going to be a 10-year center because, I'm sorry, Green didn't work out. He did not. We can supplement guards. Chooks is playing very well. Guards you can find in free agency. But the center and the 2 wings playing left and right tackle, those guys you got to draft. Absolutely got to draft. Michael Hall, we shouldn't have won against, we did talk about that. Kenny Colton, welcome to the show, man. Love you, my brother. Guys, got to check out our great Twitter spaces, Steeler Nation on Twitter. And those are usually on Mondays, I believe, at 7. Colton is our host over there. Always love talking with Colton. Had him on the show, had him on the draft show, had him on podcasts before. Always a good follow for Steeler Nation. Make sure you're following Colton Gesser as well. Great takes as well. I love me some Colton Gesser takes. Michael Hall, can we get an O-line just for one game, please? We're improving. Michael Hall, we are improving. And at least Kenny Pickett can make quick decisions. So as long as he's not fooled, we are making some quick decisions. And Robert, P.S., reading my typo above, I do like Mike Tomlin as being part of the Steelers as team president and can even give some interviews, can interact with some players just as much. Well, the players freaking love him. And that's why they run through brick walls for that guy. Clinton, welcome to the show, Clinton. Pickettsburg, Pickett to Pickens. Love it. Sell that shirt. Our 2 tight ends are studs and need to be used more, even though they're not sexy like our other O weapons. No striker. Cam's little brother is not a tight end, and he's in each pack, for goodness sake. I hear what you're saying, but he can make plays. And I love some Gentry. Gentry ripped off the biggest tight end play of the year on that tight end screen. Muth, as long as he's not tipping balls to the other team, want to see him get more targets. Absolutely more targets. Little Hayward is an H-back. He can slot back and slot out of the tight end spot too. We're going to see him at slot. We're going to see him at tight end. Going to see him at fullback. Definitely see him on special teams. George, I've been waiting for more 2 tight ends. We haven't had a good second tight end since Spaeth. I mean, Jesse James was pretty good too, behind whoever the hell we had ahead of him that year. Jeez, who's the other? Oh, McDonald. Yeah, Vance McDonald, who was a good, serviceable tight end. Had that 194-yard play against Tampa Bay where he faked a guy, freaking stiff-armed him out of an ACL. The guy was a monster, but he wasn't a consistent playmaker. Muth can be a consistent playmaker. Big catch down the center right there to the goal line. That was all Muth. Absolutely. That was a Heath Miller play, guys. Making those tough catches on the sideline to extend the chains, making those tough catches in the center to turn third downs into first downs. That was Heath Miller. Now it's Muth. And the Muth, Pickett to Muth is going to start. That's the era now, guys. Absolutely is. Missy Leal, pay me $60 million to be WB. Is that a wingback? Western Berlin. I'm not sure what WB stands for there, Missy. Missy, are you related to our Leal on the defensive line, or rookie? I like to think that you are, because he's coming along nicely. So nicely that we have a rookie active, and our rookie from the previous year in Loudermilk has been inactive all season. And Leal's been showing up with pressures, been showing up, hitting some quarterbacks. And that would be it. Yeah, quarterback. Okay, QB. Thank you for correcting me on that one, Lizzie. Oh, you are? That's awesome. Well, welcome to the show. We love friends and family of our players. What is your relation then to Leal on the team? Steeler Nation, I know, would be very interested to know. We love him. Absolutely love him, especially him supplanting Loudermilk so quickly when Loudermilk was making plays for us last year. I was very pleasantly surprised by that and continue to be surprised by as well as he's playing right now. Magna 20, welcome back to the show, my friend. If the offense can extend some drives, then with Kenny, the D will play better throughout the whole game, I hope. Well, our problem this week is we don't know who's playing. Is Hayward going to be 100%? Probably not. Is Fitzpatrick going to play? Right now, he's not. Hopefully. If he gets on the field, will he be 100%? Nope, he won't. Edmonds, finally hurt for the first time in his career. We have no backups. The ones we got in free agency, Carl Joseph out for the year on IR. The other one, KZ, he's eligible to come back right now, but with that elbow, I'm expecting him another 2 weeks. Another 2 weeks for KZ. We'll have to see. But that's who we needed in there to show somebody can make a difference if Edmonds can't go. And then, of course, all of our 3 deep, all 3 of our outside corner guys. Sutton. Witherspoon's definitely out. Sutton's banged up. Wallace is banged up. This is not going to be a good matchup, guys. Absolutely not going to be a good matchup this week. And it's going to be my pick this week of being the largest margin of victory for another team. Absolutely is. Yep. James got robbed. James got robbed. I'm forgetting which James are we talking about here, and how were they robbed? James. Jesse James? Are we talking about Jesse James? If you are, yes. Yes, that was it. Jess, the last name. That's great. Love that, Messi. That's great. That's great. But you've got to get a layout jersey now. That's the cool thing about somebody having your last name on a football team that you love. Get the jersey. There'd be no, if somebody had a striker, if Stryker ever plays for the Steelers, I would get the jersey. They'd have to be a punter or a kicker because there's no way we're playing it. I was a wide receiver, to tell you the truth. When I played flag, I was a center because centers were eligible. It was a mismatch. I'm a wide receiver that can snap a football. In the league, I don't expect any of the strikers coming in because they're all built like punters. Well, I say we're built like punters until Presley Harvin got in the league and showed the punters are now built like linemen. George, D needs to get healthy and we'll be fine this year. Still do want at least a couple high draft offensive line dudes. Next year has to be the offensive line draft. Absolutely. There's no question. Maybe get a high strong safety because we still don't have a starting strong safety. Edmonds is a placeholder. He's been a placeholder now for going on 5 years. I like KZ. He can't get on the field. I like Joseph. He can't get on the field. They're hurt. So, yeah. Yes, Jesse James, and I completely agree with that. Yeah, he was robbed. Absolutely robbed. Robert, Pickett to Pickens is more like Bradshaw to Swan than it is anything like Ben to AB style-wise. I will agree with that assessment. AB is the stalwart. He's the guy that's going to get the targets. He's going to make the tough catches to keep the chains moving, like Hines Ward as well. Pickett to Pickens is more down the field, like Bradshaw to Swan. Perfectly executed. Understand that completely. Bradshaw was known for as the blonde bomber, and just look at Pickett's blonde mullet. And they both can throw a deep ball, and whether or not it's perfect pass, a guy like Swan or Pickens makes it happen. Yes. Some of the best, most iconic catches of Lynn Swan, Robert. He's got a man draped on him. The levitation catch against Dallas. Tipped it to himself, kept hanging, caught it out of the air. Iconic play. Absolutely beautiful play. Well said. Ben to AB comparison would be like Deontay Johnson has much more AB style than anything Pickens does, really. Exactly. That's going to be your Ben to AB comparison, will be Pickens to DJ. Because that's his go-to receiver now. He might get some down. Now we're at least throwing the ball down the field. When we had Ben, we weren't throwing it down the field. When we had Mitchell Trubisky, we did not throw the ball down the field. Unless it was on the sideline. Both of them. Ben would only throw the ball down the field on the sideline. Now the whole field is wide open for Pickens. Absolutely wide open. Love it. And the only other quarterback I'm confident on this roster, Rudolph. He threw the ball down the middle of the field. The only time we saw it all season last year was when he started for Detroit. Put us in position to win that game with those downfield plays. Guys, we're at the end of the show. I'm going to be going through the end reads. If you guys want to have the last word, it is your show. Please type it in. It's your last chance. And I will start going through everything. But check out Terrible Tailgate next time we're in town. We had Cordell Stewart last week. I got a Cordell Stewart signed picture courtesy of our photographer and the Terrible Tailgate itself and Steeler Nation. He was more than happy to sign anything we had on site. Really a great dude. You've got to come to the Terrible Tailgates here, sponsored by Steeler Nation as well, to be part of this fun stuff going on that we have. Check out mybookie.ag, guys. Make sure you're using that promo code for us. Steeler Nation, all one word, all caps, to get your double deposit. I'm going to be tripling up here against the Steelers this week. Don't see us winning. See us losing big. Sorry, guys. I know our team well, and I'm just not feeling confident going up against a juggernaut like the Buffalo Bills that knows how to win this season and is hungry to win each week. Also, make sure you check out our other sponsor, manscaped.com, taking care of our balls like Najee Harris, making sure they don't touch the ground or get all dirtied up. Promo code Steeler Nation, 20% off your order, free shipping for all your ball needs. Manscaped.com. Make sure to check out Our sponsor, Total Sports Enterprises over at TSE.com. They're selling stuff every week. They're giving away signed jerseys every week. Follow them on Twitter at Total Sports ENT. Make sure you come over to SteelerNation.com for all of our Steeler-focused articles. Tweet us at Steeler Nation. Instagram us at SteelerNation.com. Follow the podcast on Twitter at _SN Podcast. Or follow me at Steeler Nation Striker, at SN Striker. On Instagram, on Twitter, on the Tickety Talk. That is how you find me. One of these days, I'll be high enough where this vidcast and podcast will be simulcast on TikTok as well. So make sure you're following me over there so we can do that. Make some fun with that. Thanks for joining us for the Steeler Nation vidcast, sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. Going to you, Steeler Nation, for the last ones out. But Pickens is a once-in-a-generation thing like Lynn Swan, where if they can get their fingers on it, you expect them to come down with it no matter what, even a little more than AB. That's an interesting take, and I like that take, Robert. I'm optimistic about him as well. Thanks for the chat, my friend. Anytime, Magnan. Always good to hear from you as well. Oh, missed your one up here. Sorry, Michael Hall. You heard it here first, folks. 2023 Pittsburgh Steelers draft is based on O-line. Take that, Kaipa. With that Charlie Sheen and Count Dracula big forehead of yours, big enough to solve math problems on it, like a whiteboard. I love it. Michael Hall of Fame coming through in the clinch as always, man. Rack them up. And last one for Michael, 35-14. Buffalo threw up a little bit. Yeah, that's a tough one to call. That's about what I'm seeing too. But I will be happy to be wrong, Steeler Nation. A lot of you guys, when I'm wrong, you're like, you're wrong, Striker. I don't care. I'm happy to be wrong. I have opinions. I didn't give birth to my opinions. I just have opinions and things I see. I'd love to be wrong about this. So that's all the time we have, guys, on the Steeler Nation vidcast, part of the Big Play Network. I'm your host, G.Stryker. Rooting along with you, as always, along with Michael Hall and Robert Tamburo. Go Steelers!